Welcome to the Cinema Gold Show. I am your host, Larry Leese. Today on Classic Rewind, we're beginning our short month-long review of heist films. To begin with, we start with The Town. First, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Poddex, for sponsoring this episode. You can check them out today at poddex.com. Use the promo code Larry21 for 10% off your order. What is Poddex, you might ask? That is a great question. I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you. Poddex is the hottest new tool for podcasters looking to have more meaningful conversations or gamify their podcast. Simply shuffle up, ask a question, and let the content roll. Visit poddex.com and use the promo code Larry21 for 10% off your order. And our biggest news today, we now have merch. The link is in the description to the store, but we offer shirts, hats, coffee mugs, plenty of different unique items that you can purchase and support the show with. A portion of your purchase comes back to the Cinema Gold Show to help us grow and reach more viewers. But also, if you want to support the show, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. Your support helps the channel grow, upgrade our equipment, bring in new hosts, hire some writers, pay our hosts, hopefully take this show on the road one of these days. It would be fun to do a show from Comic-Con or other movie-related locations. But without further ado, let us dive into The Town. It's interesting to see how well Ben Affleck has redeemed himself as a director. After seeing Gone Baby Gone 2 years ago, I'm willing to forgive the actor his roles in bad films like Jersey Girl, Phantoms, and even Daredevil. His second film, Behind the Camera, The Town, demonstrates that he isn't a one-hit wonder. But I have to admit that perhaps I'm a bit disappointed. It isn't that The Town is a bad or even an average film. It's just one that I heard so much about that I had almost psyched myself up to watch. It's a well-made exploration of urban decay which tackles its subjects with what seems to be a lot more honesty and neutrality than most films on the same subject matter. Between this and Gone Baby Gone, part of me wonders whether Boston will make a point of refusing Ben Affleck filming permission. Although the film is delivered to cinemas with a piece of text reminding viewers that not all residents of the city are professional bank robbers, which is perhaps the most patronizing disclaimer I've ever seen, it doesn't change the fact that Affleck has portrayed the city as something of an urban wasteland. This is the wreckage of America, the one that is rarely shown, the one that, when we do see it, is usually radically sensationalized in order to appeal to middle and upper class viewers. It's to Affleck's credit that he avoids, mostly, glamorizing any aspect of life here in his tale of the bank robbery capital of the world. His subjects feel organic and real, but none are ever painted as good guy or bad guy. In the context of the film itself, although the lead character, Doug McCrae, played by Affleck, is shown to be more than just a petty street thug, the movie constantly reminds us that he is a man of violence, perhaps not so much as his close associate, James Coughlin, played by Jeremy Renner, from The Hurt Locker and Avengers and all that good stuff. But Doug is a character who accepts that his world is one of violence. The movie leaves its audience to determine just how much of that comes from his environment, which Doug longs to escape, or how much is genetic. His father is serving time for murdering a security guard. Or how much is just him personally. A romantic gesture sees Doug brutalizing some thugs who scared his girlfriend and chasing them out of town, which is a fair move. It's too easy to force a particular explanation down the viewers' throats. In fact, the film shrewdly portrays everything as a sort of mundane 9-to-5 activity. The opening text informs us that in this area of Boston, bank robbing is almost a family trade, passed from father to son. Indeed, Doug is shown as a consummate professional, carefully researching his targets and their routine, and the danger to the team comes from the member who pushes things too far. There's no hint of obsession or the romantic idea of some sort of noble rebellion in the actions of the group. This is simply the livelihood they have chosen. Whether you go to prison, You just take it on the chin, not necessarily out some unspoken honor code, but just because it's a risk that goes with the work. Affleck uses the familiar device in these films, juxtaposing cops and robbers here. Doug sees his workmanship mirrored in Federal Agent Frawley, played by John Hamm. Frawley isn't obsessive or reckless like most officers chasing Corey in these sort of films. He's cold and contained. Unlike the vast majority of on-screen cops, his methods aren't noble or psychotic. One gets the sense that he clocks out at 5 and doesn't take the work home with him. Hell, he probably has a wife and kids and a stable family unit. It's just a job after all. The movie's charm comes from its refusal to play things up for dramatic sake. In fact, he correctly asserts that there's a drama in these situations that doesn't need to be exaggerated or falsely heightened. A high-speed car chase through the narrow housing estates of Charlestown, is one of the freshest chase sequences in decades, precisely because it doesn't feature ridiculous stunt driving or reckless endangerment or any number of cliches that we've come to expect from these sequences. It feels almost real, certainly far more so than the heavily stylized and empty action of a given summer blockbuster. Despite the fact the film offers far more opportunity for action work and set pieces than Gone Baby Gone. The actor turned director again demonstrates his strength with performers. The cast is rounded out with strong supporting turns from the underrated Rebecca Hall, Chris Cooper, Blake Lively. My better half even spotted. It's a fantastic cast full of actors who aren't necessarily a star, but are among the best at what they do. That said, I have to admit being a bit underwhelmed by the film. Perhaps it was the fact that everyone everywhere was raving about the film. Perhaps it was the fact that the film felt the need to talk down to me and remind me that decent people also live in Charlestown. Perhaps it was an ending that didn't feel as true to life as the rest of the film. I won't spoil it by discussing it, but I thought it felt decidedly at odds with the mood of the film, but maybe that's just me. When all is said and done, The Town is a fine piece of cinema and a film that Affleck can be proud of. Although I still prefer his debut, I'm delighted at the wider attention the film is garnering, and I'm excited to see what he can offer next. And now we're going to take a look at the pod decks, and today we're using the what the heck deck, and we're going to pull out a card and hopefully be able to answer that card. You can find this deck on poddex.com, and if you use promo code Larry21, you can get 10% off when you purchase this deck. So today's question is, would you ever pick up a hitchhiker? I don't think so. Just partly because I think I've seen it. I've heard this bad stories about it, about picking up hitchhikers, so I don't think I ever would. But let us know in the comments section below. Would you ever pick up a hitchhiker? And you got any crazy stories? Share them in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching and listening. That's all we have for today, and we'll see you next time.